Hey there, future thru hikers, Bobby again, and I'm making another video. I kind of want to focus a little more on mental preparedness. My last video definitely touched on that, but I want to get a little more into detail. I had mentioned some resources potentially that you can use, just researching on the internet to mentally prepare yourself, but really it's deeper than that. It's deeper than just looking at things and reading a book and read A Walk in the Woods or something like that. That won't mentally prepare you. You can look at your gear all day long and it's not going to prepare you for what is in store for you mentally on your hike. It's a lifestyle change. It's about 6 months you're going to be living in the woods. Of course you go into town every once in a while, take some days off and stuff, but it's really key to prepare yourself mentally before you even get out there. And in order to do that, you got to know why. I definitely touched on that at the end of the video. You got to know why you are hiking this trail. Everyone's got their own reason, and a lot of people actually struggle to answer that. And I struggled to answer my why question before I went on my hike. But I did definitely some. I dug pretty deep personally and kind of found out why exactly I wanted to do that. Won't get too into that, but you need to get really personal with yourself, and you got to be honest with yourself and decide why you're deciding to take 6 months away from life and just go start a whole new life in the woods, essentially. In order to thru hike a long trail, you got to be determined. You got to be determined to make it, and you really can't put that doubt in your mind. Of course, everyone's got doubts. I had doubts up until probably the last 5 miles of the trail. As I'm climbing up Katahdin, I knew it could still end. I could fall or something, and that'd be tragic. But I heard some horror stories about people breaking their knee with 30 miles to go. So really, it doesn't even matter how determined you are. It's a lot of luck, but determination is definitely key, and patience. Not every day is going to be an awesome walk in the park. It's going to be rainy, it's going to be cold, it's going to be challenging, and you might get close to hitting breaking points, but you just got to keep pushing. One thing that helped me through my hike was that when the thought of quitting even came into my mind, which I never truly wanted to make quitting happen, so it wasn't that big of an issue, but for me, something I kept in mind, just anytime the thought of quitting even came in my head, I just thought to myself, I need to hike another 100 miles, and if I still want to quit then, I'm going to hike 100 more, and if I still want to quit then, maybe I'll think about it a little harder, but I'm still going to hike 100 more miles after that. So you can't really quit quickly. You can't make the quick decision to just, I'm out of here, I'm done. Because, either way, you're going to be in the middle of the woods and you got to hike out of there anyways, get to a road crossing, a range of flight, do this, do that. Maybe you'll be in a town and you decide to quit. And I saw some people actually do that, and they regretted it almost instantly, after talking to them. They got to a town, weren't feeling it anymore, and, they ended up taking a bus to the airport and going home and just wanting to be back on the trail within a couple days. So it takes a lot of strength to thru hike a trail, whether it's physical strength, but I'm more so talking mental strength. It's not easy, and that. That's why you want to do it. It's challenging, but you need to have the confidence to know that you are strong, and you are strong enough to do it. And whoever's watching this right now, you are strong enough to thru hike a long trail. And mainly I'm touching on the Appalachian Trail, but and in order to mentally prepare yourself and get that strength and acquire that patience, obviously it's a lifelong thing. It's who you are, whether you're patient or not. Hiking the trail will definitely build your patience, but one thing that kind of helped me was, I guess you'd say, meditation. I don't know, whatever religion you are, whatever your beliefs are, meditation, whatever, you can pray, you can, whatever you do, go, just do something that puts your mind in the right place and makes you know what you're about to get into. Which obviously it's a mystery what you're going to get into. Everyone's hike's different. You're going to have the craziest experiences of your life. But really focus on mentally preparing yourself beforehand, and meditation is a big part of that. And also, to get in your own head, I found something that helped me was telling people about it. I told people that I wanted to hike the trail, And it started a little slow, you know, I wasn't really telling many people, but then I just started telling everyone. And then I began posting things about it on social media, you know. I'd post things on my Instagram or something like that. And it really put the thought in my head, and also put the expectation in other people's heads around me, which put pressure on me to do it. And I feel like that really helped me make it in a lot of ways, because during some of the hardest times, that's partially why quitting wasn't an option. Whether it was my ego, because I knew that I needed to impress myself and others, but it was just also that I didn't want to let anyone down. And yeah, I couldn't quit. So tell people, if you're on social media, post about it, and just hold yourself to it and get it done and do it. There's really no reason not to do it if you want to do it. Get your money right, get your gear together, get your head right, and maybe your head won't be right before the hike, which the trail will definitely help that. And I also will say, which I will touch on in later videos, but I will say the trail will mess you up too in a lot of ways. I saw bumper stickers when I was on the trail on actually Miss Janet's van. It says the AT ruined my life, and you can kind of relate to that, or I can personally kind of relate to that. It didn't ruin my life, I'd say, but it definitely threw me through a loop and made me question a lot about myself and the world that we live in. Didn't ruin my life, but it put me in a weird headspace, and I'd like to definitely touch more on things like post-trail depression, because after you're done with your hike, it's hard. It's hard to adjust back to life. For most people I talked to, they definitely struggled a lot when they got home. And it's hard, it's a complete lifestyle change. You're with these people that become your family for 6 months, and then all of a sudden you reach Mount Katahdin, and then you're on an airplane 2 days later, and you're flying 2,000 miles away from what just took you 6 months to walk to. So it's definitely very trying on your emotions, and there's all sorts of, and then it just comes down to mental preparedness. You got to mentally prepare yourself for the end too, while you're on the trail. It's just really a mental game the whole time, even when it comes down to the physical aspect of it. I wasn't in the best shape in the world when I started the trail, and I learned that real quick. I struggled a lot, but luckily I was mentally prepared to deal with the pain and the physical problems that came with it. But even later on down the trail, my feet just, they were destroyed. Just problems with my ligaments and whatnot, but I just kept pushing because mentally I prepared myself, and I knew what I wanted, and I knew why I wanted it, and I knew that I wasn't going to let anything stop me. I had it in my head that I would crawl to the end of that trail if I had to. Obviously, it probably wouldn't be possible to crawl the Appalachian Trail, but that's where my head was at. And another thing that helps, even just doing anything in life, but if you're about to go into an undertaking like hiking the Appalachian Trail, write it down. This kind of goes along the lines of telling other people and just telling yourself you're going to do it. Just write it down. Write it down. Write down what you want, why you want it, how you're going to get it, what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. Set a date. Set your start date, so you know that you need to be prepared mentally, physically. You need to have your gear ready by a certain date, and just go get it. Go chase that dream. And hopefully I touched on most of what I wanted to touch on, but like I say, just mentally prepare yourself. And whether you do that through prayer, through meditation, through just talking to people about it, just really prepare yourself mentally. Hike your own hike out there. You got to stay safe in all ways. Be a safe person, and just go get it. Chase your dreams, because you only live once.